Welcome everybody to the Ponderosa and to the Steckline Report. Well, we're going to talk about water in several fashions on this particular program. We're out at the Ponderosa wheat field, one of ours here, and I got to tell you, we got a great big soaker last night, a total of about 600s. It's not a laughing matter, and I'll tell you more about that in 60 seconds.
I first got started in the cattle business. My wife and my father-in-law got me into it. I love dealing with the animals and being in the outdoors. At American Ag Credit, I know a lot of them are in the same business that I am. You know, therefore they understand what I need and what problems I'm against, so they can work with you on it, and it makes it much easier.
It's been passed down to me through the generations, and I want to pass it on down to the next generation or two.
Announcing the service and maintenance event going on now at Straub International, your genuine Case IH parts dealer. Receive from 5 to 10% parts and labor discounts with any inspection. Schedule a tractor inspection for just $315 or a combine inspection for $400. Inspections available for all major pieces of farm machinery. Plus, for a limited time, get half off hauling. Straub International now features the Case IH 330 Turbo Robo Sharpener system to bring your turbo blades back to like new condition. Visit any of our 7 locations for the Straub International service and maintenance event going on now.
Well, folks, as we stand out here in our wheat field, this is one of our better 160-acre patches. We got about 700 acres of wheat here on the Ponderosa, and we planted this wheat just a little bit earlier than a lot of people would like to, including yours truly. And the reason I did is because we had enough moisture to get most of it up. I was a little bit worried about waiting to optimum seeding time because I didn't think it was going to rain, and quite honestly it really didn't. The late planted wheat, it doesn't look nearly as good. However, I must tell you, as you look at this crop right here, as thick as it is and as big as it is, it's hurting. It's turning curl. Look at the leaves curling. Look at the color of them. They're a little bit gray instead of bright green. And yes, this crop needs a drink. And so folks, as we look at the 2013 wheat crop in the state of Kansas, for an example, it is in the worst condition since they've kept records. The number of acres that are in poor to very poor condition. The good acres, the excellent acres are practically none. I traveled a good part of southwest Kansas just yesterday, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of fields with a third of the crop not even up, and the 2/3 is just barely up. And you can imagine if we have a terribly cold winter, what's going to happen there. We're going to have some freeze out. So this crop is already, in my opinion, hurt way too much to be a bin buster, no matter how much rain we get from here on. If we get great rains, we'll have a good crop. In this area, some areas, they'll plow it up and put it into milo because it just won't produce. In any effect, there's another water problem that we're watching very closely, and in fact, it's already knocked our markets a pretty good percentage of what it's gone down in the last week or so. And that is the Missouri and the Mississippi River. We've got a big fight going on because they let out so much water out of the Missouri into the Mississippi each day, and they've cut that back dramatically because of the dryness all across the north central part of the United States. For example, the National Weather Service tells us, and the Army Corps of Engineers, that they've reduced flows from the Missouri up north in South Dakota to the Mississippi from 37,000 cubic feet per second in November, 12,000 cubic foot right now. And they may have to cut it more. What's that doing to the Mississippi? Lowering it. Barges today, most of them can only put in about 3/4 of a load, maybe 2/3 at the most. So the ship does not go down any further. Their depth is not deep enough in the Mississippi to go down it at full barge loads, and so consequently the cost of transportation is going straight up. And they are very concerned that there won't be enough water at all to move those ships in a few short weeks. So there's been letters written by more than 20 agriculture and waterway organizations to the government officials requesting action to maintain barge navigation on the Mississippi, let more water out of Missouri. They don't want to do it, so there's a big fight going on there. The wrap up on the House and the Senate talks on the Farm Bill, let me just tell you, they had some great talks in the last week that amounts to absolutely nothing. One's blaming the other. The House is blaming the Senate's blaming the House. They can't even get this Farm Bill put together, folks, let alone whether we're going to dive off of a cliff or not that we've been talking about. All in all, it's the biggest mess you've ever seen back there. We all thought that the election would help straighten things out. No way. It's the commodity title program that's got the biggest problem with the House people. The Senate passed it all the way from the Senate Ag Committee through the Senate. The House has just passed one in the House Ag Committee. Can't get it through the House yet. They'll do some more talking. We'll see what happens, and we'll keep you informed. Thanks for being with us on the Steckline Report.